Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 466. Phil Graham here. Today, I want to talk about how to create scroll-stopping Instagram Reels ads. Instagram Reels is such a great placement for advertisers, but a lot of advertisers are using it wrong and might even be failing because of it. So if you're running Facebook ads right now, which I know a lot of you guys either are or you're planning on it, Instagram Reels deserve a lot of your attention. So many people use Reels. People spend so much time watching these short form vertical types of videos. But the problem is a lot of advertisers, even though they might technically be having Reels as a placement, so they're technically doing Reels ads, they're not really creating their ads specifically for Reels. They're just dropping whatever they have into that placement. And sometimes it could work. However, sometimes that's a big reason why certain Reels ads don't work. So in today's episode, I want to talk about how we create scroll-stopping Instagram Reels ads. Now, if you guys are looking for some help with your ads, whether that's one-on-one consulting or somebody to run them for you, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and let's connect. Let's talk about how to create these scroll-stopping Reels ads. Number one, you really have to start with the very first second of your ad. And so you want to think about a couple different things: movement, visuals, and sound. Because people are scrolling so fast, and many times they're making the decision about whether to pay attention in a split second or even a quarter of a second. So when you're looking at what you're going to put as a Reels ad, ask yourself this: in the first second, is there some movement? Whether it's you or anything, whatever's on video, is there movement, or is the first couple seconds static without any movement or very little movement? Because if it is, that's probably not going to do very well. Secondly, is there some kind of a strong visual? So ideally, you would have some movement right away. And then there would also be some kind of a strong visual element that they're seeing as well. It might be a person, it might be a certain color, something that's happening on the screen, but something that really catches your eye. And then third is the audio. If it's you talking, it's going to be what you say. It's going to be the hook. If it's music, then it's going to be something that you want to convey a certain feeling through whatever music is playing. So start with that first second. Make sure there's movement, make sure there's some kind of strong visual on the screen, and make sure that there's either a hook with what you're saying or some good music or both. Bottom line, you have to catch their attention immediately. Number two, you want to make it native specifically to Reels. And this is a really big one. Now, we don't do this on every ad. Sometimes we'll do an ad and just put it everywhere. But when you really want to focus on Reels, the best Reels ads look and feel like ads that were specifically made for Reels, not just repurposed for every placement. So it feels natural, it feels native to what you typically see on Reels. It can still differentiate and look different, but it has all the elements of a normal, successful Reels video. So obviously it's got to be vertical. You want strong, fast pacing. You want visuals that are clear, some text popping on the screen, and just good hooks within. And there's a lot more to it, but you really want to make sure that if you're creating videos, create one specifically for Reels and then create a different one for a bunch of other placements. And that's something that we do that helps us a lot. Number three, for great Reels ads, we focus on one specific, clear idea. One of the big mistakes I see a lot of Reels ads making and doing is trying to do too much, trying to cover too many things, 10 different benefits, explaining too much, or just way too much clutter in terms of what's in the actual ad. So we might have an ad like that here and there, but for the most part, I like very specific, simple ads that don't try to make too many points, that really focus on one thing. And it is simplified, it's clear, it's focused, and in my opinion, gives you a much better chance for success in a lot of different situations. Number 4, and I'm always talking about this matters just as much with Reels as anywhere else. You've got to give people a reason to stop and pay attention and to care. And that means you've got to have a great hook. If you don't have a hook, a reason for them to stop and pay attention, something that matters to them, then they're probably not going to stop scrolling. It's got to be relevant to them. It's got to be important to them. When I say them, I mean your ideal audience, your ideal customers and clients, the pain points you solve. It's got to be relevant to them. And it can't be 30 seconds in. It's got to be like 2 or 3 seconds in at the most. It's got to be at the very beginning of the video. Because the bottom line is a scroll stopping great Reels ad is not just about the visuals or the pacing. It gives people a reason to care. It hooks people immediately and gives them a reason to care because it's relevant to them. Number 5, if you're doing a Reels ad that isn't just you speaking in front of the camera, using visuals and images and graphics to help you tell the story is something that we love to do and something that I highly recommend. So showing your product in action is one of my favorite ones. That's something I highly recommend. That's a great way to use visuals to really hook somebody and get them to pay attention to your ad. Another thing could be like showing a transformation or a result or a success that somebody has experienced with your products or your services. That's something that can do really well, showing that kind of stuff. Putting yourself in front of the camera, if you're willing to do that, I always recommend, because people can connect with you better, especially when they can see you or hear you or both. So that's another great way. So I would focus on at least those 3 ways. Show your product in action, or show a transformation or a result or success of somebody using your product or service, and or show yourself in front of the camera demonstrating things. And that's something that we love to do in our Reels ads. Couple final important points. Number 6, you want to really keep the pacing going quickly. Slow pacing is going to probably just kill the ad. And so you want to have it move fast. Have you ever watched an ad or a video and you're like, oh my gosh, just get to the point? Well, people won't typically watch too long if they're feeling that. And so you've got to pace it quickly. You got to get to the point quick. You got to, hook somebody quick, but then have a quick pace from one thing to the next to the next. Don't draw out any one thing too long. You can do that in some types of ads and be fine, but in a Reels ad, you kind of want to pace it pretty quickly. And a lot of that can just come in your editing, but make sure it's moving fast so that you keep your audience's attention. Number 7, and I shouldn't even have to say this, but there's still people that need to hear it. Make sure you're creating these videos for people that are watching with the sound off. So many people watch videos with no sound. And so obviously, all of your videos should have good captions. You can either do that right within the Meta Ads Manager, or you could get a little fancy and do that in any kind of a video editor and have even better captions that really pop. But make sure that you're having captions popping on the screen as you're talking. Ask yourself this: if somebody has the sound off for the whole video, are they going to know what this is about and who it's for? And it better be a yes, because if it's not, a lot of people won't even pay attention. And then last, but certainly not least, you've got to end your Reels ads with a really simple but focused call to action. What do you want them to do next? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to click? Do you want them to learn more? Do you want them to sign up for something or schedule a call? Whatever it is, don't shy away from it, but simplify it, make it quick and easy and sound easy to do. A lot of people either don't mention it at all, which is okay for some ads. You don't want to have a call to action in every single ad necessarily, so that's okay. But when you do, you want it to be very direct, very focused, very simple, and very clear. And make sure you put that at the end. Don't spend 20 seconds talking about how to sign up. If you have to explain how to sign up, you have a problem. So tell somebody to sign up at the end, simple, clear, and focused. So to summarize, many times, great Reels ads are not just about taking an old ad and putting it into a Reels vertical and calling it a day, although sometimes that could work. But creating for the platform, creating native Reels ads that are clear, that are focused, that are attention grabbing, and using the tips that I shared with you today in this video are how I like to create Reels ads, and I highly recommend you guys do that as well. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique, results can vary, there's no guaranteed outcomes, so always keep that in mind. So my friends, episode 466 is in the books. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I will talk to you on next Tuesday's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.